how your reality is created is by the little steps that you take and focusing on what you want, not on what you don't want. We have to release these judgments. We have to release these attachments, be in knowingness that, hey, maybe there's something even better coming along if I just let go. Think of your manifestations in the same way. It's like I am putting my love and my attention into this order, and I am responding in a positive way by just celebrating it. Hello, spiritual friends, and welcome to another episode of Life Ascended, where we tap into our divine potential every day. And today I want to talk to you about one of my foundational teachings, which is the 8 essential intentions that you need to have anchored in your energy field in order to manifest anything that you want. So these 8 intentions were actually given to me in a meditation, and I received them to really understand how does manifesting work, what are the key components around it, and then how can we actually apply them. And today I'm going to show you and describe to you how it shows up also in your hands so that you'll be able to see and figure out which ones that you may be struggling with or which ones might not be the strongest in your energy field. And we're going to go through this together. So I hope you're excited for today's episode. So one of my passions is to help people manifest their dream life of abundance and miracles. And I do believe that it is our destiny to overcome our challenges and really get through our lessons and learn our lessons and ascend into this higher dimensional way of existing. And that way of existing is joyful and fulfilling, and it brings about more love into our lives every single day. So it's super important that we learn how to amplify our effectiveness in manifesting. And if you're coming from a place of struggle, or maybe you've tried this before, you've tried the law of attraction, you've tried different ways to manifest, and maybe you've had some difficulty with it. This could be one of the issues that you could be having, is that you don't have one of these 8 essential intentions actually anchored in your energy field. So like I said, my angels and spirit guides told me that this is why people struggle. And so we're going to go through these 8 intentions today, and we're going to also talk about how you manifest your own reality. And I talk about this a lot, so you may have heard this before, but essentially we're just in charge of 4 things. We're in charge of our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and our responses. And if you're coming from that struggle place, if you're coming from that difficulty space, you might not be in control of your thoughts. You might not be in control of your feelings. You might feel like you don't have action that you can take that's in your best and highest good. You might feel stuck in the actions that you're taking, and therefore you respond in a negative way. So as you step into Ascension training, you realize that you have more control over these 4 areas than you might have originally guessed. And so, yes, you do have control over your thoughts. The key is to learn to observe those thoughts. And there are lots of different ways to actually shift thoughts that are in the subconscious. And there are also ways to shift them in the superconscious. So feelings, the biggest piece of the pie. Definitely, a lot of times we feel like we're not in control of our feelings. And it's okay to stuff them, right? We think, oh, I can never stuff these feelings. But sometimes it is appropriate to stuff your feelings if you're in a space where you're not able to process your feelings. You know, you don't want to just explode on somebody, right? So we have to know how to control those feelings. But if we do stuff them, what's going to happen is they're going to energetically, it's still going to be in our energy field. We need to process them and allow them to be felt. Actions are super important. We want to take appropriate action every day in the direction of our dreams. So, how your reality is created is by the little steps that you take. And you want to take steps focusing on what you want, not on what you don't want. And you want to keep responding in a positive way as well. So when your manifestation doesn't come true immediately, there's a lag time. It's important to stay in that positive, responsive mode, like it's coming, it's here, it's already here. Okay. So let's go through the 8 essential intentions so that you can start to really understand how you are really in charge of creating your reality. So, number 1, we have I know that I am a magical manifester of any abundance. And this is our thought category, right? We need to think that we are magical. We need to think that we're able to create our reality, and we need to know that, right? So, knowing it in your energy field, knowing it in your reality. If you don't have number 1 anchored, you're probably going to have some trouble, right? So what does this look like? Well, your hands actually reflect your manifesting map. Your hands are the roadmap to your soul, your personality, your free will. This is why I analyze hands. They are so amazing. They will teach us so many things. And the first place that we want to look for this first intention is our thumb. Okay, your thumb represents your willpower and your ability to manifest results. Okay, so how much thumb do you have? You can take a look at your own hands and see how big your thumb is, right? So I always tell people big thumbs are capable of big things. So if you have a large thumb, like Albert Einstein here, for example, then you will be able to manifest more easily. Okay, so look at the thumb relative to the rest of your hand and really ask yourself, yeah, how big is my thumb? How long is my thumb? How thick is my thumb? And Einstein told us that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So we really need to get above our problem thinking, right? So if you're trying to manifest more money, for example, but you're coming from a space of lack, of, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money, then what's going to happen is you're trying to solve this problem from this place of lack. So this is why we want to focus on knowing that we're a magical manifester of any abundance, and we can manifest that money to flow into our reality, right? So this is, and it's largely, we can see the quality of our thumb to really see if this is easy or difficult for us. Okay, now if you have a small thumb, it doesn't mean you can't manifest. It just means that maybe you need to work on this intention. So, number 2 is I am worthy to receive. Okay, so if you are in a space of receiving, then you know, hey, the check is in the mail, right? You know it's coming. It may not be at the post office today, but you know it's in the mail, right? So when you're feeling worthy to receive, you know that it is your divine birthright to receive. And this is our category of feelings. And this is one I would say a lot of people struggle with because they don't feel worthy to receive. So why do they not feel worthy to receive? Well, maybe they were told in childhood, hey, you don't deserve that. Or, that's not for you, that's for someone else. And then maybe you took that feeling in and you thought that was forever, right? So maybe it was just applying to one specific situation. But you, being a child, you take it in and you absorb it. and then you carry it with you. So this is a challenging one that a lot of people struggle with. Religion. This is one that really bothers me about religion is they teach you to not feel worthy. You know, they actually put it in their Catholic prayer. I am not worthy to receive you. And to me, that is such a big problem because it ingrains that energy of not being worthy. Like you have to grovel for something and you have to be, you have to be blessed by, oh, well, I'm superior to you, so I'll give this to you. When it's your divine birthright to actually receive. Okay, so this one, we definitely want to take a look at the region of your hands, which we call Luna. Okay, now if you look at your palm and you look at the bottom part of your palm, so close to your wrist, this and farthest away from your thumb. Okay, so the edge of your hand at the very bottom, this is your region called Luna. And Luna is your area of receiving in your hands. Okay, so Luna also relates to your subconscious and your ancestral lineage and also past life lineage. So there's a lot of information that can come here, that subconscious region of Luna. So if you have a hand that has a nice puffy section here, that is going to show a healthy Luna. If you have a section that sort of withers away and sometimes it'll also be droopy, so you can take a look at that too, like it literally looks like it's dropping into the wrist. That's another indication that maybe you don't have an easy time receiving. So take a look at your own hand and you can see the difference, whether it's weak or whether it is strong. And we want to have nice, puffy energy to show the available receptivity in your own hands. Okay, number 3, I trust this is happening for me. Okay, this is our category of feelings again. So the energy of trust, right? If we don't trust that the universe has our back, if we don't trust in the divine benevolence of the universe, maybe we think the universe is an evil place or it's a scary place or it's not safe, right? Then we might not be trusting things. We might be pushing away our manifestations. So we have to be in a space of trust, and this is a space of surrender, right? This is like, okay, universe, I'm leaving it up to you. I am so open to whatever is happening, that it's for me, and knowing that what is meant for you is coming for you. All right, so I want you to trust in your abilities, trust in your divine nature, and trust in the benevolence of the universe. All of this encompasses the trust, third intention. Okay, so for example, if you have a manifestation, like maybe you're trying to attract a new partner in your life, for example, it's like, well, do you trust that the universe is going to create a situation where you will meet this person? You know, you need to trust that it's going to happen. You need to trust that there's actually a person out there for you, right? So some people who go through, especially trauma or divorce, or if they've had abuse, you know, maybe they think, oh, well, everybody's like this and I can't trust this. Well, if you believe that, you're going to possibly recreate the same situation in your next partner. So we want to definitely heal this one, knowing that you deserve a wonderful partner that supports you and is loving towards you. So where do we look for this? We look on our little finger. We call this our Mercury finger. And this relates to our communication. It's the place to see how you trust or you don't trust. Okay, so when you look at your own hands, this is what I want you to look for. Now, if your little finger is straight, that is an indication that you pretty much communicate very straightforwardly and you are trusting what you are receiving, right? So when a finger bends, that actually weakens the finger. So if your finger is bending or twisting, that is showing that the communication is getting jarbled, right? So it's not coming in clearly, it's not coming in straight, right? So when you think about it's sort of like the did you guys ever play that game, the gossip game when you were a kid, where one person would whisper something into the next person's ear and then that person would whisper into the next person's ear and so on until the whole line. And then we came to the end and the person at the very end had to say what was said. And it's interesting because I remember that game really well. It was completely different than when it started. Right? So it's like if you're not getting that direct transmission, it might be getting garbled, right? So if your little finger is crooked, you might not be getting the straight up communication, and it's because you're not trusting, right? So this is showing a challenge that you're having with yourself. Okay, and this is a psychological response. So when I see people with crooked little fingers, this is something that needs to heal. It's something that we need to practice, because as we work on things and we improve things, guess what? Your hands can actually change. So that's what's really cool about the hands, or the feedback. They're showing you what's actually happening. And if a finger is bending, especially any of the fingers, that can be an indication that this has been happening for a long time, right? So that's where you want to take a look for trust. So number 4, I am taking inspired action now. Okay, so what that means is that you are focusing on your actions every day. What habits do you have that are in alignment with your goals, and what actions are you taking that are not in alignment with your goals? Okay, so for example, if you want to become the best skier in the world, and yet you never put on your skis and practice, then it's probably not going to happen, right? So the same goes for anything else. You have to practice and you have to take steps in order to really have it manifest in your reality. Okay, so it doesn't mean you have to become a world-class skier in one day. It means that you're practicing and you're going out every day. You're doing those little steps that are required. So depending on what your goal is, will definitely vary on what actions you need to take every day. So we want to look at our Mars mount, which is going to show us our available energy for action and perseverance. And this is located just above the thumb, and it's a little mount, and typically it will be just inside the lifeline. All right, so above the thumb, but inside the lifeline. And if you take your hand and you kind of turn it sideways, you may notice like a little pillow right there. That's the mount. Okay, so mounts are showing the available energy. Okay, so if your Mars mount is weak, it will be flat. It will have maybe a concaveness to it. That shows a lack of energy in your ability to persevere. And really, you can think of this also like your solar plexus chakra. So your solar plexus chakra is weak. Okay. Now, if you have this nice puffiness to it, that's going to show, hey, I've got some persevering energy and I can really push through challenges and I can take action to manifest my reality. All right. So take a look at your own Mars and really ask yourself, what is mine doing? Okay. We also want to take a look at what's called a Mars line, which is a minor line. By the way, it's not in everybody's hands, but it's going to show up inside the Mars mount. And if it's showing up, that is giving it a little extra energy, showing that there is action being taken. Okay. So the longer that line is, too, by the way, the more persevering energy that you have. Okay. So number 5, I am resonating with my desire. This is our category of actions. Okay. So you want to think of yourself in terms of vibration. And Nikola Tesla actually gave us this quote. He said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So if you're resonating with your desire, you're matching your frequency, right? And again, this is like what Einstein told us, we need to get above the problem in order to really solve it, right? So we want to resonate at the frequency of whatever it is we are attracting. So if we're trying to attract a partner, a loving partner, we have to vibrate and resonate at that frequency. Okay, so all of these things are important. We also want to look at, you can think of having a personal vibration. Okay, so your personal vibration is affected by the following things. Okay, so there's your ancestral lineage, right? Your family. There's your ET lineage. Okay, so if you have extraterrestrial lineage in your fingerprints, by the way, that's going to show up in your right index finger. Your soul agenda, your personality, your talents, your astrological influences, and the collective consciousness. So all of these things actually will affect your personal vibration. The more you know and understand about these influences, the easier it is for you to reclaim your power and boundaries so that you can resonate with your chosen desires. Okay, so I highly recommend that you write down these different vibrations that affect you and really think about, yeah, what is the influence of my ancestral lineage? What is my extraterrestrial lineage? And how is that affecting me? What is my soul agenda? What does my soul want for me in this lifetime? What does my personality prefer? You know, because we tend to be creatures of habit. We're going to create who we are, right? We're going to create more of who we are. So astrology definitely is important. The transits, right? The planets affect us. When Mercury goes into retrograde, for example, you think that doesn't affect you? I guarantee it does. And the collective also has an impact. So if you live in a city, for example, that's really negative, that's going to be harder for you to raise your personal vibration. You're going to have to set up a lot of protection and boundaries and that sort of thing, versus if you're out in nature. If you live out in nature, it's so much easier to connect. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I chose to live in Sedona, Arizona, because now I am living in a vortex. And the place, if you've never been here before, Sedona is a very special place filled with high vibration, and the energy here is different than in other places. So I feel extremely blessed to live here. And it helps me to really connect to the universal consciousness and really understand that, right? So I would recommend that you take a look at your own personal vibration and really ask yourself, what is affecting you the most? All right. So number 6, I release any judgments or attachments to how this shows up, right? So when we have a judgment, Oh boy, that's going to really push stuff away, right? If we have an attachment, it's like, oh, I want that specific dollar with that specific serial number. Wow, are you limiting yourself? Right? We don't care what the serial number is. We don't care what mint it's from. We just want a dollar to come our way, right? So we have to release these judgments. We have to release these attachments. And we have to also be in knowingness that, hey, maybe there's something even better coming along if I just let go. So to understand our judgments and attachments, there is one area to analyze called your zone of strategy, and it's located in the center part of your thumb. Okay, so remember what I said earlier, the thumb is your willpower. The center part of your thumb is going to show you how you are making your plans, right? So this has to do with your willpower. And if it's got horizontal lines running through it, that is an indication that you might be a little bit too attached to some outcomes. You're getting a little bit caught up in the planning phase of your manifesting. And maybe there is some restrictions going on, right? It could be over planning, it could just be wrong planning. And it could just be that you're caught up in too many of those little details, right? So if your thumb is showing either no lines, right? That shows an openness in the section, or you might even have vertical lines, which will head up towards the edge of the thumb. That shows flow. Okay, so the same applies to the fingers, by the way. If you have horizontal lines running through any of the fingers, that's going to show a restriction. If you have vertical lines running through a finger, that is going to show flow. Okay, so you can literally see in your very own hands how much flow do you have versus how much restriction. Okay, this is another reason why I love hands so much is they bring the tangible from something that is otherwise intangible. All right, so our seventh essential intention is I continue to respond with knowingness and optimism that my desire is arriving in a way that's just right for me. Okay, so this is our category of responses, right? So a reaction is when we have no control over something. It's just we react, right? Somebody cuts you off in traffic, you react. You slam on your brakes, you honk on your horn, whatever it is you do. But a response is something much more conscious, right? We can choose how we respond to things. So, for example, instead of swearing at this person, for example, and getting all mad, we can choose to respond in a different way. And we can choose to respond with kindness. Maybe they're trying to merge in traffic, and instead of cutting them off and not letting them in, maybe you want to respond in a little bit nicer way and say, hey, maybe I'll just let this person in and let them go in front of me. You know, maybe they're in a hurry and they need to, you know, we can practice kindness, right? So we can respond in a positive way. For sure, that is easier said than done, especially if it seems rude or aggressive. But with practice, we can learn, we can train ourselves to respond in at least a neutral way, right? So we can be polite, we can be neutral, we can let it like flow around us, right? It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my personal energy vibration. And I'm going to maintain my high vibration regardless of what is happening around me. And so we can do that with our manifestations as well. It's like, yeah, it may not be here right this second, right? But the check is in the mail. The order has been placed in the restaurant, right? This is another really good analogy. It's like if you put in your order to your server, you don't go back and check on the cook. You don't go back and make sure that they're cooking it the way that you wanted to. You put your order in. You told the server exactly what it is that you wanted. And then what do? You have fun with your friends, with your family. and you just enjoy your beverage, whatever it is, knowing and responding in a positive way that, yeah, your meal is about to arrive, right? You don't have to question it. You don't have to think about it. Okay. So, and you expect it to be delicious, right? You don't expect it to have a problem. You don't expect it to be undercooked or whatever. You expect it to be nourishing and delicious and yummy. And that's why you ordered it, right? So think of your manifestations in the same way. It's like I am putting my love and my attention into this order, and I am responding in a positive way by just celebrating it, right? So you want to take a look at your Venus mount to show the available energy for optimism and giving and receiving pleasure, right? Venus, goddess of love and beauty. This is our heart chakra region of our hands. So Luna is sacral chakra, by the way. So we talked about Luna earlier. Mars is solar plexus, and Venus is heart chakra. Okay, so if you have a big Venus mount, then you have a lot of available energy for this, what we would call the joie de vivre, right, in French. It represents joy of living, right? So if you are small in your Venus, then you have more of a challenge. And if you're bigger in your Venus, that shows that you really can enjoy it. Okay, so our final essential intention, number 8, I am grateful that I am now attracting more and more of my desires. This is again the category of feelings, right? So after we receive that beautiful meal and that beautiful plate of food and nourishment, we give thanks, right? It's like, oh, thank you for bringing me this. Thank you, universe, for having this available to me so that I can nourish my body and nourish my soul. Thank you for the beautiful friends that I have around me and I'm enjoying this meal. Whatever it is, we always want to be grateful. Now, if we're coming from a place of, well, I don't have a meal or it's not there yet or whatever it is, it's important to be grateful for what you do have. Okay. Be grateful for your body. Be grateful for being on this planet. You signed up to be here. You signed up to do this stuff. You signed up for your life, whether you remember or not. You went through the veil of amnesia and you might have forgotten, but it definitely was something that you signed up for. So the more gratitude you have, the more that it opens up the doorway to your desires, right? So in summary, you just need to remember that your life of abundance and miracles is absolutely waiting for you. You are a powerful being of light with unlimited potential. You are multidimensional. It's important to pay attention to your reality to change your life because what you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on negativity, you're going to get back more negativity in your life. If you focus on positivity and love, then you're going to receive more of that in your life. So that's how reality works. Your hands reflect how you perceive that reality. So this is why everybody's hands are different. And how one person, like you could be siblings, right? You have a sister who perceives reality completely different than you, and yet you had the same exact experience. It's interesting because your hands are totally different, right? So one person can see something as very positive. It's like the example of, maybe your dad was an alcoholic, for example. It's like, well, one kid learns to never drink. It's like, well, I'm never going to drink because my dad drank. And the other person would be the opposite. Well, I became a drunk because my dad was a drunk. So two completely different outcomes from the exact same upbringing. So which one do you choose? Which path are you choosing today, right now, in your reality? Are you choosing the path of your dreams? Are you choosing the path of miracles? Are you choosing the path of light? Or are you choosing to stay in your problems? All right. So, anchoring these 8 essential intentions into your energy field opens up the floodgates of abundance. And I know this is true because I have lived it. I have done this myself over and over again. And this is what I teach to people now. And so I invite you to grow in your own spiritual path. And so what I did was I actually created a course. I call it the Abundance Alignment Course to help you manifest your big dreams faster than ever. And we go through each one of these intentions, these 8 essential intentions, and we have a way to actually anchor it into your energy field. It's going to make your manifestation so much easier. So if you're interested, just go to ascension17.com/courses. And that is where I have all of my courses located. And you can find my Abundance Alignment course. I consider this one of my foundational courses, and it is absolutely affordable. It's what's nice about it too is you can go at your own pace. You can listen over and over again. You can go back over the lessons as many times as you need to. This is one course that I personally use, even for myself, almost every day. So that's how foundational I consider this course. If I'm using it every day, it's got to be valuable. So anyway, I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this gives you some really beautiful ideas and gets you thinking about your reality, gets you thinking about your life, because you are so much more powerful than you may realize. And I want everybody to be thriving and living the life of their dreams and ascending, right? Because if we become creators, then everybody wins. When you are doing your purpose, when you are doing your passion, the whole planet wins when you are in that space versus when you're in a lack space or a struggle space. So we need to get everybody on board in their space of abundance, because then you're naturally going to be more giving, more generous, more flowing, more able to contribute to your gifts in this life. And so I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope this episode was useful for you. And please let me know in the comments, maybe which essential intention that you want to work on, or which one resonates with you the most. And above all, let's ascend together. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining us on Life Ascended, where you can discover your divine potential every day. Please show your support by tuning in, following, sharing your comments, and inviting others to listen. Take it further by visiting ascension17.com for deeper spiritual growth, guidance, programs, and products.